everyone. So this is going to be a video to cover the assessment preparation questions for Math 154, Section 1A. The questions are over to the left on my screen, and any work that I need to show is going to be to my right. There's not going to be a lot of work for this section because it's simply going to be explaining these definitions and why each one is what it is. So each of my brother's 3 dogs has fleas, therefore all dogs have fleas. This is what you call a hasty generalization. You are starting off with a small amount of information and drawing a big conclusion from it. So this is your premise or your information that you have. Information that's given or assumed to be true. That's important that your premises are assumed to be true. Then this is your conclusion down here. Conclusion. So you're trying to take information about 3 dogs here and make a conclusion about all dogs down here. Your conclusion is much larger than anything about just these 3 dogs or one of those 3 dogs. That's a hasty generalization. Okay. Let's clear that off. Second one says, if proposition Q fails, your children won't have good schools. It's an appeal to emotion. It's not making any statement about whether proposition Q is good or bad. It's really not even just trying to tug on your heartstrings about using your kids here and good schools, for your kids to get you to vote for proposition Q, whatever that is. So there may be lots of valid reasons to not want to vote for proposition Q, but this is not a good argument for or against voting for proposition Q. It's an appeal to emotion. It's not an appeal to facts, it's an appeal to emotion. One candidate favors eliminating affirmative action programs. The other candidate states, my opponent doesn't think that there's anything wrong with discrimination. That's what's called a straw man argument. A straw man argument is because it's like, I don't know if you've heard the word of an effigy, but you can't beat up on the real person, right? So instead, you make like a scarecrow that kind of looks like that person, and you beat up on that scarecrow because that scarecrow can't fight back. But it's a weakened, inept, impotent form, of the person, and you're setting up a facsimile of that person that's really not the real thing of their argument that's indefensible, right? So equating these two things, saying that not supporting affirmative action is the same thing as saying that there's not anything wrong with discrimination, is not an accurate characterization of the candidate's stance. And you're beating up on that straw man instead of attacking the actual candidate's position. So that's what a straw man argument is. Fourth, When confronted with questions from the press about an alleged scandal, a congressman replies that the allegations against him should be ignored since his accuser is part of a vast right-wing conspiracy. Uh, he didn't really address the question about whether the accusations are true or false. He just attacked the character of the person making the accusation. Uh, Maybe not even true argument against the person, but he attacked the person, the accuser, right? That's called a personal attack. To the man is what this phrase is going to mean, but in many times in law or informal logic or philosophy classes, you'll hear it called ad hominem. We get these Latin phrases for things in logic. And ad hominem means to the man. See, like Homo sapien, hidden in there, man, to the man. And that is meaning that you made the argument against or to the man instead of about the thing that you were arguing about. You attacked the messenger is one thing that happens, though they're not really attacking the messenger here because it's the press. It's the accuser, right? But think of that, don't kill the messenger, right? Usually when someone would say that, don't shoot the messenger, don't kill the messenger, it's usually an ad hominem attack, that they're afraid of. Sorry. This number 5 here, you should brush your teeth every day because brushing your teeth is very important. Okay, they just said the same thing 2 different ways and didn't give you any new information. Was circular reasoning. So, brush your teeth every day because brushing your teeth is important. Well, brushing your teeth is important didn't really tell you anything new. It just said the same thing again, right? So this is a circular argument. It assumed the conclusion was true. It wanted you to come to this conclusion here that you should brush your teeth every day. So it just told you in a different way, restated it as a premise that you should brush your teeth every day, right? Don't do that. Don't tell people that what you want them to conclude is the basis for why they should conclude it. That's circular reasoning. All right. 6. A television commercial shows 2 people who fall in love while wearing a certain brand of blue jeans, and you're supposed to infer from that if you also wear those blue jeans that you too will fall in love, right? And that's an appeal to emotion. You're having an emotional response to seeing the people fall in love and associating that with the blue jeans, and it has absolutely nothing to do with if the blue jeans are actually good blue jeans or not. 7. We must limit immigration to the United States in order to sustain the prosperous economy. A strong economy is vital to the health and wealth of the American people and the future of our children. Okay, so you talked about this in your notes. One of the names for this is called a red herring. This is a diversionary tactic. You want somebody to agree with you, so you say something that you think that they're going to think is related, but it really is just to throw them off the scent and to get them distracted. So you're talking about immigration policy at first, and then all of a sudden you switch and you start talking about health and wealth of the people and the future of our children, and these 2 things basically don't connect, right? but it's a red herring. It's to throw you off the scent because you're gonna, of course everybody wants a strong economy and to be healthy and wealthy and to have a good future for their kids. So yeah, of course I would support, you know, that that measure on um, for immigration reform, right? But it was just a diversionary tactic. So, um, lastly, after getting new dishes, I started to sneeze. I must be allergic to the new dishes. This is called a false cause. Um, Correlation does not equal causation. Remember that phrase? We're going to say it again later in chapter 9. Correlation does not equal causation. Just because one thing happened before the other does not mean, just because A came before B does not mean that A caused B to happen. Okay? You'll have your notes from this um, as well. Make sure that you are viewing those PowerPoint slides and things. But correlation does not equal causation is going to be a big thing. It's going to come back again when we get to the statistics stuff in chapter 9. Okay, so don't forget that one. Alright, that's it for this video right now on 1A. And I will come back and do a little, actually a lot on 1B. 1B is on truth tables, and I know a lot of you had questions about that, so look for that video next.